How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good. Hi everyone, good afternoon. I know we're running a bit late, but we were experiencing some technical difficulties. But I thank you for staying and waiting for us, more or less. My name is Sigithani Bryan. I am the Acting Outreach and Marketing Officer at UE Open Campus St. Lucia. Welcome to Do You Mind Telling Us About Your Business? This is a brief interview series taking place for this week. I think today is the 14th through to Friday the 18th or so.
Right.
And every day I'll be featuring a new student or a current student or a past student who is doubling up as an entrepreneur. And that individual may be doing so part-time or full-time. And we're just trying to find out how exactly the open campus journey has assisted them in creating a business or improving and sustaining their business. With me this afternoon is none other than Herchanna Williams.
Hi. Hi.
Herchanna owns a small business. It is called Blissful Day Spa. Blissful Day Spa. And there you can get your pedicures, your manicure, facials, waxes, body scrubs, and so many things.
The full package.
The full package, as she said. So I'm sitting here with Miss Williams today just to find out about her open campus journey and how she has been able to merge the two in terms of her being a business owner as well as an open campus student. So, Miss Williams, why UE?
I've always wanted to be a UE student. It was just a childhood fantasy. I
Never
know.
really heard it worded that way before.
Yes, for lack of a better term.
Mhm.
I wanted to go to university as a child. I figured that was the fulfillment of my educational background, and here am I.
Yes, and I do understand that in terms of where life takes you, sometimes it's just a lot more convenient to study online as opposed to
Right.
uprooting yourself to go on campus.
Yes.
Yes.
After having been a full-time mom and working, you need the convenience, really.
Yes. Now, as you mentioned, working, tell us, which was it? Did the chicken come before the egg? What was it? Were you an open campus student first and then you decided to open up your own business? Or did you already own your own business and then decided to study?
I opened my own business first, and then I decided to study, which was part of my bucket list.
Mm.
Yes.
So you can have it on your bucket list too. Okay.
Yes.
And you opted for the BSc in Accounting
Yes.
program. So
Yes.
why that program?
I honestly do have a passion for accounting, money. I wanted to understand how you can invest money, how you can spend money wisely, how you can manage money. So I felt like it was the ideal subject to merge with my business.
Mm.
Yes.
I'm convinced that with accounting is either you have it naturally or you study really, really hard to get it. And personally, I always admire persons who have a knack for accounting.
I would be honest, at first I really did not like it.
Yeah.
In secondary school, I really did not like it. I did not see the need for it, but naturally, as a child, I could have managed money and separate my needs from my wants, which was like the basic stage.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of blossomed after school, really.
Mhm.
I decided to read books about it and see how really interested I was in it. I took little certificate crash courses,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was like, okay, I got this.
You're definitely determined because with the bachelor's in accounting, I know that this area is ideal for persons who are interested in business or who are already operating in business, and those who are interested or are already operating in the area of finance as well.
Yes.
So since you already had that little interest as a little girl growing up. I find it not very surprising that you would have gravitated towards towards it. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
So how would you say that the content that you covered within your program as a current student, how has that helped you in terms of your daily operations?
Well, so far, the one subject that really stood out for me was financial management, and the financial management really opened my eyes as to how I could really apply the subject and apply the knowledge to managing the money, and really see it from a banker's perspective, or if you were to apply for a loan, if you were to expand on your business and grow. It really showed me a different avenue as to how I can invest my money, so have my money to work for me and multiply so that I could really expand on the business. So I have basically both my passions into play at the moment. Yes.
Because it really sounds like you're able to marry the two in terms of approaching it from a business perspective, as in you're the owner of the business, but also a lending institution. Because with financial accounting, you would have covered areas such as your balance sheet, your income statement, and those things.
Right.
So it would give you a good idea about keeping track of the monies that you spend, what you get coming in, and things of the sort.
That is right. And when I approached the bank with just my knowledge in my studies, I was asked for a cash flow projection, and that was something that was at the time was not so foreign to me, but with the knowledge given, I was able to sit down and marry what I've learned to what I'm experiencing in the business, and to come confident enough to the bank and say, this is what I have, this is what I've made, these are my profits, these are my loss. I felt really confident that I did not have to look for someone else to do that work for me.
Yes. It sounds like because it really equips you to stand on your own. So like you said, you didn't have to look for someone, you didn't have to look for a friend and say, hey, can you please help me there? Or perhaps even pay an accountant to get it done for you. Because as you know, as an accounting professional, keeping your records, your financial records
is essential.
Very, very, it is very, very important.
I think that's one of the very, very first things that a lending institution would ask you. They would ask you for your receipts, they would ask you for your records, your statements, and once you have that labeled and categorized, it really gives you, I would say, firsthand the priority, because that's what they're really looking for, to see how organized you are in the financial aspect of your business. Yes.
So there isn't much of a delay in processing your application, because you already have not just knowing it, but you're able to apply it. So it helps to speed the process, or to ensure that the process runs as smoothly as possible, particularly from your end. Yes. And I'm sure too that because there's another course in your program, the cost and management accounting, that's part of the BSc Accounting program, and that would help you strategize your product costing. Yes. Because as an owner, as a business owner, you have different assets and different products that you have to purchase for your business. You own a spa, so you need the equipment, you need everything.
Everything.
And these come at a price, and you need to know what price or what pricing model to use in order to not break the back of your clients, but also for it to be in a suitable space whereby you make your profit, because you're in business to make a profit.
Yes, and with the inflation happening now, it really comes in handy as to how you go about costing, but still being competitive in the market as
Yes,
well.
yes, yes. That's very important because, well, we know a lot of spas are around. We have a lot of talented St. Lucians who
Right.
are into beauty and everything associated with it. So it's the market is quite interesting.
Very
I could imagine.
demanding,
Yes,
very
yes.
demanding. So you want to stay on top, but you also want to be have a comfortable pricing for your clients, um, and also get the best products as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's challenging in its ways.
But it sounds like you definitely have it on lock. Now, you mentioned investing and in terms of having your money,
Yes.
work for you.
Yes.
So, can you just give us an example as to how you've been able
So
to use it?
actually working on a product line and coming soon. So just investing the money into that as well has already given me some insights as to how it will roll over, because I would probably most likely look into branching it out into different stores, so that hopefully I can get those revenues coming in and multiply. So that will be an expansion of the business, and also looking forward to training new and upcoming therapists as well, so that I can expand the spies. Hopefully one day would be a wellness center as well. So yes,
That's quite
Yeah.
that's quite interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, and I find that interesting because I know that having or reaching for a university education, it really helps open up your mind
Yes, it does.
because it really gets you to think critically,
Yes.
not just things that are on the surface, but how you can assess something and things of this sort. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you started off simple,
Right.
but with your UE education that you're currently building on, it's really helping to open up your mind and
Yes.
to help you consider the various options and avenues that you can consider.
That is correct, because I have analyzed the business due to the course. I've become more analytical to every aspect of my business, how I can impact socially. Could my business be a social enterprise, which is something that I've already ventured with and worked alongside with the SLYBT community. And it has blossomed, I should say, into something wonderful, where we're targeting the elders, which is something that I've never really thought about doing, but it has worked. And how I could aspire new persons in the industry, and help create employment, since that's one of our sustainable problems that we face globally. So as small as my business is, it has really my course has shown me how to be a bit versatile.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. And as you mentioned that, it really brings to mind the area of economics, which is an area that is covered within your program, and where you fit into the daily business of our society, and how you can impact that, and how external factors impact your business.
Yes.
Because you would be impacted by the current state of the economy, political factors, social factors, technology, natural disasters,
Yes.
a change in laws.
Definitely. Yes. So it's just being able to keep an open mind and see how we can focus mostly on the positive, and then set aside for the bad days.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, definitely, because when you have a good understanding of economics as well as accounting, then you head in the direction of sustainability, because you're in a position where you can help determine and forecast certain aspects, so you know that a rainy day just might come.
Yes.
And even though things may be comfortable where we are right now, there may be things that are happening on an international standard, and it's just a matter of time until it gets home.
Yeah.
Cause, yeah, because I remember too, like with the onset of COVID.
Oh yes.
I remember that. I remember telling my husband, we'll need to get some masks. And he's like, oh, but the virus is on the other side of the world. And I'm like, okay. And then in tutus, it just came to our doorstep.
Oh my goodness. And what it did initially when I started the business, I was a freelance therapist, and I was able to target a lot of the customers of my clientele. But then it had died down before the COVID because I decided to go in-house and try to attract the customers to come towards me. COVID reversed that for me.
You see, all of that has to do with the education because it's push or pull. Your marketing strategies.
COVID actually reversed that, and I remember a client reaching out, and I didn't stay in contact with her for quite a while, and she reached out and said, do you still do house calls? And I was like hesitating because I'm like, what's the point of doing house calls and I'm already paying rent? But given the fact that we were in the total shutdown and very few limitations, I had to look for a new avenue to bring in revenue during that time. And I had to go back to doing house calls for that time and be a bit creative and provide incentives and go back to our former our famous marketing strategy, which was tell a friend to tell a friend.
Word of mouth. Word of mouth never fails. It can get us in trouble, but it's generally reliable.
And that is what kept me, because I really could not at the time market and say that I was open.
Yeah.
I could not really publicize that, operating hours. So I was solely relying on word of mouth during that time until the government gave the okay to open full operations. So that was holding on the business for a while, but I kind of made it through. I had some wiggle room.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like you really are concerned with your clients and the quality of work that you present to them and the quality of options that you have for them.
Yes.
And on the topic of quality, last week the UE celebrated or recognized World Quality Week, and of course we didn't just do it in isolation. It's something that's internationally recognized. And during that time, we sent a lot of information to our students and various stakeholders concerning, little facts about, did you know this about UE? Did you know that? So, but in light of that, as we're just coming from World Quality Week, can you tell me, what do you think obtaining a quality education at UE means to you?
To me, I value education just as much as I value health, and I feel like in such a dynamic world where always changing, education is always evolving, there's always something new to learn, that is always good to retain as much information, as much knowledge as you can, so that you can grow as an individual, and through, could be knowingly or subconsciously, you may impact someone, something, a project or whatever that you're working on, both personally and globally. So I really think that it is essential.
And for certain that with the University of the West Indies, you are definitely getting a world-class quality education.
Yes.
We, as you know, are number one in the Caribbean. We're in the top 1.5% in the world, and we're also in the top 20 in Latin America. So
That I did not know.
Well, did you know? Now you know now. Well, okay. So I have a list of our 6 core values.
Okay.
And I want you to choose a number between 1 and 6, and we'll have a little chat about that.
Four.
4.
Yes.
Why number 4?
Try to make it even.
Okay, great. So, number 4 speaks to diversity.
Oh wow.
Yes, now when you think about diversity, you can consider various aspects in terms of gender, biases, disabilities, all sorts of things. So, for you as a student, how do you think you can help UE with that core value?
Are we relating it to the business?
Yes.
Or,
In terms of you as a student, your open campus journey as an entrepreneur, how can that help UE towards its core value of diversity? So, for example, we have, when you were coming up the steps on the platform, we have a flat area so that persons who are probably on a wheelchair or maybe on crutches, they can come up that slab instead of the steps. For you, I know that you deal with all sorts of clients. You may be dealing with clients who have had some injuries, who have
the elders, the
disabilities. Yes.
So I get where you come from. So in my line of work, being that I am in tune with every walk of life, I mean, from the young to the old to the disabled, I really think with my customer service skills and how to really communicate with the different persons that I face on a daily basis, I think that would not only help me as a student but to also pass on the knowledge to other persons, either employees as well. Just to, I think sometimes there is a communication barrier, so sometimes being that I have understood persons in the uniqueness, I think I'm able to share that kind of knowledge with UE, so that they can expand and reach globally to other persons that are willing to take up courses and understand and improve themselves.
Yes. Miss Williams is definitely warm at heart. If you meet her, she will just make you feel comfortable. And I believe everything that you just said. And I think too that even with your line of work, I mean, you're exposed to so many different persons. You have persons who may be coming to you, they're depressed, they may be suicidal, they may be dealing with gender issues, which is another of our core values in terms of gender justice. And I'm sure that sometimes you have persons who are opening up to you while you're giving them a massage or something, because and I'm sure too there was a time in the past, you and I, because I think that's how I ended up telling you about UE. That's how I ended up introducing you to UE, and I'm sure that you've had several encounters. So at least two, if if you're treating someone and they tell you, I want to go to school and this and that.
I think that 1 hour or 75 minutes or 2 hour session that I have with a client, I feel like I become a counselor, a physician, not only just a therapist, a friend. Sometimes I'm an acting daughter. See, because I resemble a relative, a child, someone who passed away. So I really have to understand, like, put myself, the way I go about doing it basically is putting myself in that person's shoe. And the fact that the person opens up to me makes me feel like, okay, I have created an environment comfortable enough for that person to open up, and sometimes that's the only avenue for them to really
release.
release
Yeah.
themselves. So I just listen to them. I have them have their way. I administer the treatment to make sure that they're good. And if I don't ask someone after, I don't have an appointment, I prolong the conversation just so that they can get air out and give my advice, my feedback, not really telling them what to do, but just giving it if I were them kind of thing in a second person, in a second body. And just have them feel free, because massaging really is not just physically, it's a spiritual journey as well. So you get to meet different persons, different walks of life, the spirituals, the disabled, the elderly, those who are mentally challenged, those who've been in domestic problems, those who are I would say even the dementia. When I learned how to cope with massage elders and disabled, that was a totally different atmosphere, and
I could imagine.
It was really nice to see that I could have be an inviting avenue for those kind of persons.
Well, that sounds like a lot. So how have you been able to juggle such a heavy portfolio, plus at the end of the day, whether you do it in between breaks or when you head home, how have you been able to juggle and being an online student, being a parent, and having to run your own business?
It really boils down to passion, passion. If you do not have the passion, you would not be running and going through. I really do have a passion to heal persons, to see persons at their best, and I have a passion for what I'm studying, and I'm a full-time mom. So really, passion. So really, should I wake up every day, I mentally prepare myself, because I know what I'm about to meet different persons, a different character every hour. And I work up to 7, 8, 9 hours a day. And once I'm done, I'm a mom for like about 2, 3 hours
until the baby goes to sleep.
Help her for homework, because you need her to be just as well academically. And once I've set her off to bed, the evening is mine for my studies. And by the time I'm done, I would rest myself. I'll get a couple hours rest and start the day. My day is really precise. Start the day all over again. But I've learned how to, I think in everything I've learned how to balance. Balance, make sure I eat properly, make sure I rest, and make sure that I approach my passion. I give it my all. And I could take it up every day.
And right now, the structure or the assessment for the BSc programs, it has been adjusted, it has been updated, whereby I think there are 3 main assignments that students get for the semester.
Yes.
So I guess it may, or how do you think that may work to your benefit?
Well, I'll tell
or
you.
how does it work to your benefit?
Honestly, setting up the meetings virtually, especially when we have group assignments, could be challenging, because I'm in St. Lucia, and then we have students which is from Belize, I think, which an hour behind, and then we have an hour forward, and it's very challenging. So I find myself most of the times, when we say, or we agree to 8 p.m., I'm sitting here at 8 p.m. and waiting on the line. And then this person, you're calling this person is 7 p.m. and making your way home for 8 p.m. in their time.
Yes.
And then you're getting probably Jamaicans or whoever who's probably an hour, I think, ahead of us.
Yes, ahead.
So it all boils down to either starting 10 o'clock for your assignment, and or certain persons not being able to make the time because certain persons, the time thing. So that is the most challenging, is the time the time zone for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm dedicated. So sometimes if I'm really tired, I really can't make it for the meetings, I will just ask for like a brief synopsis of what went on so that I
Mm-hmm.
could understand what is the assignment and I can send my piece and try to make my utmost effort to be there at
Yes,
the
yes,
other
yes.
session so that they don't feel like, but the Eastern Caribbean times don't mesh.
But then I suppose too that with having the structure being adjusted to the three main assignments for the semester, it helps you to make good use of your time.
It does. It really
You,
does.
you would be able to set a schedule because you know, okay, it's on the 18th of October, this, that, etc. So you know, okay, you have to read this part because
Right.
chapters 1 to 3 is what will be covered in this assignment. But then also with, I suppose, a certain level of flexibility that you have at
Flexibility.
work,
Yes.
you're able to incorporate that, and you may be able to do assignments and readings during the day as well. But would you, or yeah, but would you say that being an open campus student has helped you manage, you mentioned your money, so you're managing your financial resources, but has it also helped you manage your time?
It has. It has. That is one of the main reasons why I took up the course at UE. I mean, a lot of the times that other persons are offering courses that you would like to study is either in an evening where you have to be in-house.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the situation of transportation, crime rate, everybody is looking to be safe. So
Yeah.
I've gotten the flexibility of still being present for my daughter because sometimes she likes the mommy cuddles.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally would sit on the bed, have my laptop,
Yep.
and have the child on my lap,
Mm-hmm.
cradling her, and I'm like, yes, sir, I understand. Can you repeat yourself? So I'm really that flexible given that UE has given that I could still be there for family time
Yes.
and not having my daughter to feel like mommy's never there,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time study.
Mm-hmm.
I may not have given my undivided attention to the full extent, but the good thing about UE is what I really love is that the sessions are recorded. So in my spare time when, baby girl is not there, I can always go back and listen to what I did not quite grasp.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the tutoring conference where you can message your tutor and I say, okay, sir or ma'am, I did not understand that. Can you explain it to me? They're very responsive, so I don't have issues with that. They would message me or email me and probably even give additional clips, YouTube clips that you can follow up. So they're really helpful in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I'm really happy to hear what you covered today. I think it really gives us a clear indication as to how effective one who is pursuing a BSc in accounting could be in their personal as well as professional life. And I think you're a living testimony of that.
Yes. Thank you.
Especially due to her passion. So she wakes up every day looking forward to learning more
Yes.
about what she's passionate about, not just in the work and in the home environment, but also within her program, because she knows for certain that the content that she is exposed to within the bachelor's degree in accounting at UE is something that she can and she has been able to use. Now, right now, our application period is open and you can apply for a BSc in accounting and start in January of 2023. The deadline is December 16th, 2022. So you could go to open.uwi.edu/apply to get all the information that you need in terms of how you can apply to pursue this program. So I really am grateful to Hannah for Herchanna for sitting with me today. And
Thank
of course,
you.
as mentioned, she was our first guest in our interview series called Do You Mind Telling Us About Your Business? And I think we have met today's objectives in terms of finding out how exactly she she has used the information within the courses that she's covered so far and applied it to her entrepreneurial life. So thank you again for joining us.
You're most welcome.
And I look forward to the rest of the interviews, because the whole of this week we have interviews. So I really am looking forward to it. So stay tuned. Again, on Tuesday's tomorrow, around 12:30, we will be on with a new guest. Maybe a past student, maybe a current student, but you would know until you stay tuned. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
We didn't mention